Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer. We're here today with Derek Sloan, the president of Sym-Tech Dealer Services. And Derek's company does awful lot of work in the F&I space and also does a lot of training for dealers across the country. So we're going to find out today how his organization is adapting to COVID-19 and also just what he's hearing from dealers in the field, how they're responding to to the pandemic to keep their businesses operating. So Derek, over to you.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it's been obviously a crazy time. It's I think you've heard probably every buzzword from unprecedented to, of course, it's a global pandemic, and how we're handling a lot of the shifts and changes that have happened. Um, this all came on, even though we knew that this was a problem overseas. It all gradually came to us, but then it came very quickly in the last few weeks. And I would say every single day, everybody's watching and listening and kind of seeing what direction things are going. Um, from an automotive perspective, and more so, maybe I can start off by talking from a dealer perspective. As you know, we work with a lot of dealers, dealer groups, and our OEM partner across Canada. Um, some of the things that we're seeing out there, first and foremost, the first thing we're seeing is the safety of their employees has been paramount. That's number one priority, is to ensure that they're not putting anyone in harm's way. We fit in that same category. We went to a home office. I think it's now over 2 weeks now. We went to a home office setup, and we also pulled our field team from the field 2 weeks ago as well, to no more travel, and again, to kind of hold the front until we kind of see what direction things we're going to go. From a dealer perspective, again, the safety of their employees was number one, and then moving into still being able to serve their customers. So which is challenging under these circumstances, but serve their customers through service, ensuring that obviously they're a necessity, and it's a very important that they're accessible to their customers that might need them. And then on the sales side, there's a lot of dealers that are very clear, stating that, hey, we're still open for business here. But the significant shift that we've seen that is evident, especially from being an F&I provider like we are, is the change to online sales. So there's been even though most dealers and dealer groups and have been having a focus of online sales for some time, uh, this has forced a lot of their hand to move in that direction even faster, to ensure that whatever process they have, whether it's a combination of an online digital element combined with phone, email, you name it, um, this has all kind of come together in the last few weeks. And where we're playing a part in that is we've been fortunate. We've been doing virtual F&I for a couple of years now, more so on the subprime and special finance side of things. But this has really helped to ramp us up to become more of a virtual F&I provider as well. So we're doing in-store development online. We're doing training online. We're actually taking full presentations to customers online in some cases, the virtual F&I element, and we're helping our dealers and our dealer partners kind of go navigate down that road and what that looks like. And we're going to continue to do that. So that's something that we're seeing a significant increase in, and it's kind of if you want to call it, the new normal
Well,
as we trickle back.
well, the one thing is, as dealers are adapting to this, as you say, they're getting a glimpse maybe of their future and maybe just on an accelerated time frame of adapting these new tools. I know consumers have been pushing for these for a long time. There's evidence that they really are embracing sort of digital tools to search through F&I products. So I think this may well propel the industry forward as one of the legacies of this crisis.
Oh, what's interesting is my wife and I went, and we went to one of those pickup grocery. We get food from a local farm, and we went to one of their section where you park, and you open the hatch of your vehicle, and they put all the groceries in for you, that kind of thing. And I was actually saying to my wife, I said, customer service has gone through the roof under these conditions, because it's not really self-serve at this point. It's going back to almost in some ways like the old days, where people are coming out and serving you. There's no question that the element of servitude for dealers is increasing as it pertains to, test drives coming to you, or whatever customers are comfortable with. Transactions predominantly being done online or on phone or via email, transactions. All of this is only going to accelerate. How we come out of this, we're very optimistic. We believe that we are going to come out of this. We believe that people are resilient, and they do want to get back to living their lives. But that all being said, it's just going to be a different world, and it's going to be a world that we're a little bit more aware of. Maybe how many times we wash our hands. Todd, have you ever washed your hands this many times in your entire life? Listen, I'm a pretty clean guy in the first place, but I got to tell you, it's constant, right? Just watching what you're touching, watching where your hands are, all that kind of stuff, which I think is a great thing. But we're going into that world. And so how do you deliver a premium service, or how do you continue to compete and deliver service to your customers in that kind of environment? And I think online is accelerating for that reason. You will see a dominant shift, and we're seeing it already, and we're going to track it, of course, like many others will as well. The large percentage of transactions being done online versus being done in person. And it's happening. It's happening now, and we're playing a part in that. We had to accelerate our efforts as well, and we're continuing to do that right now.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned hand washing. I was a big handshaker, and I think going forward in the industry, that may not be the new way people greet one another. And I think, when you think about the F&I experience, a lot of people didn't like being sort of in the box, if you will, already, in the business manager's office or the F&I manager's office. That may well even be a less desirable experience just because of physical contact. A certain portion of the population are really going to be even much more risk averse, whether that's because they have compromised immune systems or they're in a more target risk, demographic or something like that. So I think there will be a shift, as you say, just how people do business. But at the end of the day, the industry will rebound. People are going to need vehicles. They're going to need to be driving, and you'll need to be providing insurance. And I'm sure some levels of insurance products that will evolve out of this may even be more appealing to consumers as they look at the actual risk of whether it's gap insurance or job loss, that sort of stuff, whether through pandemic or other means, saying, what, this actually could happen, and I might have a tough time paying my bills. So I think the industry will realign and adapt. And I have to say, in covering this market for a long time, car dealers and the suppliers that serve them are among the most adaptable entrepreneurs. And I think I have faith that we're going to get through this. And I just thank you for sharing your time with me today. Any parting thoughts for dealers that are struggling through this?
Well, actually, I will tell you, the key here is to stay optimistic, and the key is to know that this is temporary. We need to take these times to sharpen the axe, to get our skill set up, to be prepared for what the future lies. It is going to be a somewhat different future, but I think this is giving us maybe some time to get better prepared for that future. And a good car guy a long time ago said, Jim Moran from J&A said something that always stuck with me, and that is, the future belongs to those who prepare for it. And I would say that this is the time to do that for sure. And many of us have already been doing it, and to continue to do it, but stay optimistic. We're going to bounce back. We're going to come out better than ever.
All right, wise words, and thanks for sharing that, and thanks for the time today, Derek.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
Okay, you will. Signing off.